In this problem, we need to find cosine of alpha minus beta, where we're not given alpha and beta directly, but we're given some hints, and we can use right triangles in the quadrant to figure out what alpha and beta, well, at least what their sine of alpha and cosine of alpha is, so we can fill in that formula. So we're in quadrant 2 for both of them. And I have, my first hint is that sine of alpha equals 112 over 113. And I remember that the formula for sine is y over r. So that tells me that y is 112, r is 113. And that can give me, then I can find x with that Pythagorean theorem. So y is 112. R is 113, and I might remember from Unit 1 that formula to get x is the square root of r squared minus y squared, or in this case that is square root of 113 minus 112 squared, and I would not hesitate to use a calculator for that one. So when I stick that into the calculator, I take square root of 113 squared minus 112 squared, close the square root, and I get 15. So that ugly thing came out to something kind of nice. So that equals 15, so that's my x. So that tells me that cosine of alpha it's in quadrant 2, so it's going to be negative, and it's negative x over r. So that's 15 over 113. And I also need to find sine of beta and cosine of beta. I'm given secant of beta is negative 89 over 39. Secant is r over x. So I have x and I have r, but I need to find y. So using that same formula, except changing the y for the x. So I have square root of r squared minus x squared gives me 89 squared minus 39 squared. And again, I think this is calculator worthy. And that gives me, square root of 89 squared minus 39 squared, close the square root, and I get 80. For y. So that tells me that sine of alpha will be, it's in quadrant 2, so it's going to be positive, and it'll be 80 over y over r, which is 80 over 89. And cosine, I'm sorry, that should be a beta. And cosine of beta is the x over r, so that just the inverse of secant, which is a negative 39 over 89 quadrant 2, so it's negative. And then now that I have all the information I need, I can use that formula for cosine of alpha minus beta is cosine alpha, cosine beta, change a sign, sine alpha, sine beta. Cosine of alpha, pull it from right here. I get negative 15 over 113. Cosine of beta is right here, which gives me negative 39 over 89. Sine of alpha, right here, 112 over 113. And sine of beta is right there, 80 over 89. And again, this definitely feels calculator worthy with all those big numbers. So I'll grab that calculator again. And I get, let's see. Well, for the first part, negative times a negative is going to give me a positive. So I'll just do 15 times 39 for the numerator. So that gives me 585 over The denominator is 113 times 89, which gives me 1057 plus 1112 times 80, 8960 for the numerator. And I have the same denominator here since I already did the 113 times 89, so I got 10057. So that's nice because that makes it, at least that's something with these big numbers. So adding those two numerators, I have 8960 plus 585, which gives me 9,545, and that is the final answer.